Good morning. What a beautiful, beautiful morning. Again, just like last night, I couldn't point the camera in a bad direction. I just felt like I didn't have enough cameras, but I think this one's gonna go on the list of epic camps, in my opinion. Well, keeping it simple this morning, just gonna do a quick little breakfast. So I've got some yogurt, blueberries, and sausage. Sarah always texts me in the middle of my talking heads, but that's okay. We'll see what she's doing. Like I was saying, sausage from last night for a little protein, a little pep in your step, a little sodium in your soul, and then we're gonna hit the road. I'm mostly packed down already, so yeah, I want to make some distance today. Well, I want to explore today. Distance can be deceiving. I'd rather explore 20 miles that's interesting than 200 miles that's just on and on and on of just trail work. So let's get going. Water sources in the desert are few and far between, which means they're a hot spot for wildlife activity, Native American rock art, and traces of the more recent westbound settlers. So when I saw this one pop up on the map, I decided to have a closer look. Apparently there's a spring up in here. You can hear babbling up in the brush. Some watercress growing in it too. Some healthy water. Piece of pottery. That's from a big jug too. Another piece. Same part. What would be the odds, right? I don't know if this shows up well on camera, but you can see that this pocket has been dug out this way and this way. And these stones here, I think, were a small fireplace. So either someone lived here or this was just a more sheltered camp, maybe a lean-to or a dugout. What a great spot. So on this trip, while I've not been filming, I've been listening to audiobooks, and I've been stuck on the Lonesome Dove series. And don't let the TV series fool you. That is a brutal book. That is not a family listen. But wow, when you hear what life was like, at least in story form, in the Wild West, it's a lot less romantic and a lot more frightful and gruesome and hard. And so it's interesting listening to that and being in that mindset and then walking through some of these areas like they would describe in the book. You're like looking over your shoulder, who's hiding behind the next bush. Crazy that now I, as just a solo adventurer, can come out here in almost complete safety without a thought and just walk about and explore this without the risk that came with life in the West. And just to know that in, just a few hours I can be home if I want to. And even if I broke down, it's not that hard to get help out here. So things have changed in a really short amount of time. When you look at the course of history, our life right now is better than anyone has ever had it. And it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder to try and be cognizant of that and thankful that we have these opportunities that we have. Found our first drift. Probably can power through it. It's actually not a drift, it's just a wash. I just don't know where the trail is now. Yeah, so it looks like the trail is actually here. And some split in the grass there. That's just a dry wash, so I'm gonna back out and see where it went. Get around that, and I can probably scooch this way. I don't know, maybe it'll work. At least I don't have a trailer behind me. This is one of those trips where not having a trailer makes a huge difference. I don't know, just enough hope up there. This really puts me in mind of Echo Canyon over in Death Valley. Very similar geology. See the little tube-like caves there? They're everywhere. So pretty. Here, on the border of Nevada and Utah, there are no shortages of trails to choose from. The challenge in this expedition has been finding areas without too much snow and passable routes for a solo rig. While this trail was proving to be a piece of cake for Silver, it was so old and hardly used that it was getting very difficult to find the overgrown route in the snow. Thankfully, I could just make out the slight hints of a 2-track in the dry wash, and it also helped to have my navigation app at full zoom to keep me on course. These are my favorite types of trails because you know you're on a track that very few people have ever seen. So remember when I said that trail conditions can greatly affect your mile per gallon average? Well, I reset this while I started fighting the snow, and look at where it's at. Hopefully you can see that, but it's 3.2. Something to think about. Well, we made it through the wash. And now we're in the junipers where it has drifted pretty good. You see that? I'm just gonna set the camera up and try and make my way up the trail here, see what happens. Thankfully, it's just kind of the perfect slushiness that I'm able to compact the top, get a nice track on it. So this is easy to travel. This is good stuff. As I unceremoniously crossed the state line into Nevada, which, by the way, I guess is not in their budget for a welcome sign way out here, I spotted something out of the corner of my eye and scrambled to get my long-range lens set up. But this badger had no interest in welcoming me either. But he did inadvertently do me a favor, because my camera was ready for what was over the next rise. Finally, I had spotted some wild mustangs and fulfilled yet another childhood dream. This small group, though, wanted nothing to do with Silver, who had intruded on their range, and they immediately ran a couple miles away before stopping. Thankfully, I was able to spot a more friendly group with a foal just a few miles down the trail, who were keeping company with an unexpected desert guest, a mature bald eagle. Now folks, I'm not sure if you can get a more American experience than this. It's been a hard-fought day here. Just the snow does not want to stop. I'm trying to get down into the desert a little bit further right now to hopefully maybe camp out of the snow. We're getting there, but it's a slog. Tried a couple of other trails that I didn't film just because I wanted to make camp before dark. And same scenario, 2 feet of snow in places. So just having to fight to get to a good spot right now. This really isn't a situation that I prefer, but it is what it is. It's my fault for not picking something sooner. I just wanted to get out of the worst of the snow. Looks like we're just gonna have to bite the bullet. So right now I'm headed into these hills. I just want to find something, a little bit of shelter. We're driving through herds of wild Mustangs, and they are the most skittish animal I've ever seen. As soon as I crest the hill, they're gone. I was able to get closer to the antelope today than to the Mustangs. She wants to run with them. So, yeah, Silver. Ride with these Mustangs. Yeah. Come on, Silver. Oh, well. Not ideal, but not bad. It's not completely dark yet. This will work for tonight. So let's get some food in us. I'm starving. Alright, not going to get too fancy with the film in the night, but I am going to show you what I'm doing. I've got hot sausage, and I've got queso, and then I've got all these things to spice this and this up to make just a supercharged nacho dip, or soupy tacos as my family calls it. Let's get it in us. Alright, let's start with getting our onions sauteed. I'm going to do a little generous dollop of garlic, generous dollop of chipotle, or green chilies, maybe half the can or however much you like. Alright, just want to soften up those onions first. So we're going to pour in our Rotel now because I just need some moisture in there to help with this not sticking. Now this is far too much for me, but this would probably be good for a family of 3 or 4. So I'm going to cut this down whenever I get to the next step. Alright, I'm going to throw this in another pot for now. And now we're going to cook our sausage. Alright, now we've got the sausage cooked up. And now we cheese it. I'm just going to put it all in. Now you could totally use real cheese. And no, I won't eat all this, but I'll put it back in the jar and it'll be a tasty lunch. We're almost there. This smells so good. Alright, I think we're done here. I've been heating this guy up just for a little presentation purposes. And what would it be without just a little bit of garnish, just to make it look pretty. A little dried cilantro. I'm starving. So hungry. Got me some Don Julio's. Best tortilla chips in my opinion. Got my queso bucket. Let's see what the verdict is. You don't have to go camping to make this. And I got the ratios right too. Oh yeah. That's gonna keep me warm tonight. Even with filming, I don't think it took but maybe 25 minutes to make this. So if you do the shortcuts like I did, maybe forego the onions, this is probably a 10-minute deal. All right, well, good early morning, folks. Did a little bit of research last night, and we've got high wind warning, a wind chill warning of up to -20, and 2 to 4 inches of snow on the way. So I think it's time to pull the plug on this adventure. We've been punching snow long enough. Gonna go home. Honestly, I just miss the girls. Miss my new baby. Miss my Caroline. So I'm gonna pack it up and head out.
Now, before you rush off to the next video, this show isn't over, folks. Little did I know at this moment in the wee morning hours that the Nevada desert had one more treat to share with us before we said happy trails.
This is our block inflate. Look at that guy. These are available in our store, lso.link/inflate. And this little guy, I think we should add it to the store too. Whew! The wind has started. And that's the best part. The best part about the auto inflator is you can I'm gonna go sit in the truck a minute. It doesn't take long though. It's pretty quick. With dual ARB doing its job back here. It's loud in here. I probably should be talking right now. Look how pretty that is back there. I could just keep going. This is some pretty filming weather right here.
After airing up and filming what I thought was a solid parting shot for this expedition, I caught some movement out of the corner of my eye, and to my surprise, saw an entire herd of wild mustangs matching pace alongside Silver. Today, most legends of the Wild West can only be found in dusty history books, fanciful fictions, and old Western movies. But in this moment, I got a glimpse back in time as these magnificent animals thundered across the desert. While it may be a ghost of its former self, the Wild West lives on, and its legacy still pulses through the veins of these horses, whose lineage traces all the way back to the Spanish conquistadors who came here to conquer these lands. After over 500 years since they first rode into these lands, much of the West has indeed been settled, civilized, and tamed. But when you look into the eyes of a wild Mustang, you realize that there are still some places where the wildness lives on.
Oh, what a treat. What a treat. What a nice punctuation to the end. Hi-ho, Silver, riding with the Mustangs. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this adventure. Remember, stay curious, leave it better than you found it. And also, if you love what we do, if you find yourself coming back to this channel more often than not, please consider supporting us. We're viewer supported over on Patreon, so just go to lso.link/support and help us continue this adventure, help us to expand this adventure. We appreciate you guys. Thank you, patrons, for everything that you do. We seriously would not be here. We would not be doing this if it wasn't for you. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for your continued support. All right, guys, time to drive. We'll see you. Woo! That's a wrap, baby.